Welcome, everybody. We're really glad to see you all here tonight, even if it's for a very somber reason. My name is Elaine Rose, and I'm the CEO of Planned Parenthood Votes Washington, which is our statewide organization here. We're all here tonight to pay honor and tribute to a true American hero, Dr. George Tiller. Before I get into my short remarks, I want to just tell you a little bit about our program. It's not going to be very long, so you're not going to have a lot of people talking at you, but a few of us who have some words we'd like to share. I also wanted to mention that we've brought a condolence book with us, and Courtney, who is waving over there, has it. For those of you who would like to write something to the Tiller family, we will be sending this to them. So please find Courtney either during the presentation or afterwards, and we'll get it off to the family. Well, a life well lived is known by the legacy it leaves. And Dr. Tiller's legacy is certainly one that has touched all of us across this country. He was a man of compassion and of great commitment. He was a man who was a true American hero. He had courage in the face of unprecedented terror and harassment. He never wavered in his commitment to what he felt was the right thing to do, and that was to provide compassionate care to women and their families across this country. He was a man that, while I did not know him, everyone I have spoken to who has met him has used one word over and over and over again, and that word is gentleness. A man of great gentleness. I think the most amazing thing about Dr. Tiller is that he was so compassionate, and he did this work in the face of incredible harassment. He did this in the face of people who screamed at him, who stood outside his clinics, who bombed his clinics, who shot him, who put his name on websites, who demonized him. But he never stopped, and he never backed down. And that's a lesson we can all take today from Dr. Tiller's life. It's a lesson of keeping on. It's a lesson of knowing you're doing the right thing. And it's the lesson of coming together, as we all are today, to lean on one another and to show that this kind of violence and harassment and intimidation has no place in America, and it has no place in our country anymore. I want to thank you all again for being here. It's an amazing outpouring of support, and together we are going to change this country. We're going to change the violence, and we're going to end it, and it starts today. Thank you. I'd like to turn the mic over to Lauren Simons with NARAL Pro-Choice Washington to say a few words.
Good evening. Thank you all for coming. As Elaine said, I'm the Executive Director of NARAL Pro-Choice Washington. I've been on the job for 3 weeks, and a few weeks ago at a NARAL event, I said, we must beware of complacency. While there are clinics around the country and in our state which deal with anti-choice protesters every day, we have become complacent about our safe access to abortion services. While not quite surprised, because we have always been under attack, we did not expect this level of violence. I thought we were past this. It's the comment I've heard the most since yesterday. We are not. And in fact, as has happened historically when the country has elected a government supportive of a woman's right to control her body, anti-choice foes have increased their work, their protesting, and their acts of violence. During the Clinton years, there were 6 abortion providers and clinic staff murdered, 17 attempted murders of abortion providers, and 12 bombings or arsons. And during the Bush administration, there were no murders or attempted murders, and there was 1 bombing. Even though the powers that be of the anti-choice movement have publicly condemned the assassination of Dr. Tiller and tried to distance themselves, they are party to his death. You might ask how that's possible. Dr. Tiller has been the focus of an unending campaign of domestic terrorism. He's been under attack, the spotlight shone upon him with hateful rhetoric, daily protesters, and fighting court battle after court battle. Through their words and their actions, actions, their constant attacks, they worked to dehumanize Dr. Tiller and to make people believe he was a demon, and they painted a target on him. A man so full of compassion that he devoted himself to ensuring a woman's right to abortion for his entire career. Because of this tragic, truly unspeakable loss, now we are less complacent. But because we are less complacent does not mean the domestic terrorists have won. We will never back down from our right to reproductive justice and freedom. I knew Dr. Tiller. I was a clinic manager at 2 of our state's abortion clinics in the 90s, and I had the opportunity to meet with him and speak with him on several occasions. And he was truly a humble and gentle and compassionate man who was so deeply moved to be able to do the work that he was doing. And he would take the time to speak with anybody, whether they were a counselor, a medical assistant, an administrator, or a doctor. He treated you the same. He was truly a gem. And that's about all I can say before I cry.